Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload. Kasí Rhea grew up in Lynchburg, Virginia, where she graduated from Heritage High School before studying at Strayer University. She was open about her journey with depression and was deeply spiritual. Many trans women face barriers when looking for employment because of discrimination, bias during hiring processes, and lack of legal protections in some states.
Sends Aaron Taylor to a dark place.
I still have nightmares about some of the things that were done and said.
In August 2021, Taylor says a male coworker began sexually harassing her on her first day with the franchise as director of operations.
Vulgar comments, demonstrating sexual acts. Every time I bend over, every time I walk into the room.
She says the situation escalated after 1 week when the employee learned Taylor is a transgender woman.
He went just as hard on the homophobic comments. I can't even begin to say some of the things that he said, but, just very, very threatening manner.
Taylor nearly called police at one point, scared of a physical attack.
So many times as we hear stories, even today, trans women are being killed, are being murdered. And so to think that that was even a possibility in a professional setting for me, it was fearful.
She claims management offered little support, accusing the franchise owner of victim blaming and questioning her complaints.
He told me that I should be grateful that someone was looking to talk to me or have interest in me because I was a trans woman.
4 months in, Taylor was terminated for job abandonment after leaving a shift early after a hostile work encounter, though she says she received permission from a shift supervisor.
It's our hope that we can use the law to make things right.
Taylor's attorney, Jeremy Stevens, is filing claims for sexual harassment, discrimination, and retaliation against the franchise. Taylor seeking back pay and compensation from emotional distress and mental anguish while already reclaiming some of her power.
Speaking up and us having a voice creates a safe space for us. So don't let anyone scare you into not sharing your story.
Well, painful days at work, feeling like outsiders. 3 trans women open up to News 12's Katie Vasquez in an exclusive interview about their experience working for Whole Foods. The women tell us the company's high quality standards didn't match up with the way they were treated as employees.
I heard there's a man in here.
Some of the transphobic comments Alana Monroe claims she faced from her coworkers.
I froze. I immediately felt paralyzed.
While using the restroom at the Bryant Park Whole Foods Market.
One particular girl did ask me about my genitalia.
The transgender woman says she took her concerns to her boss.
He just said, no, that's not sexual harassment, and just sent me on my way.
So she went a step further, filing an official complaint in an email detailing blatant transphobia that store leadership does zero to help, and she has absolute fear of being discriminated against. Her complaint went unanswered.
Because even after I reported it to my regional president, I still was misgendered.
Monroe isn't the only one. Samantha Horton claims to have dealt with similar behavior from her colleagues at the same Whole Foods location.
The other colleagues were just like making fun and calling me a man.
The name calling is hard enough, but she alleges it also affected her professionally. She claims getting promoted was a challenge.
Tell you don't have experience, and the same person that got the job got in the same day that you got in.
Nolani Porch transferred from the Bryant Park Whole Foods location to the Harlem store before beginning her transition. She claims she notified management, but coworkers continued to use her dead name, the one she was given at birth. Porch felt it was important to educate her colleagues about her journey, but says she was asked not to by her superiors.
I would answer these questions and then I would get pulled into the office and they would say like, hey, this is not appropriate to talk about on the sales floor. It's bad for business.
The final straw occurred after she was threatened by a customer.
Tell me that she would come back up to the store and shoot me.
Even more shocking was the response from work.
Told me that my dialogue with the customer was unprofessional.
Porch and Horton were both terminated on what they believed to be baseless excuses. Monroe is still employed there, but went on medical leave because of the emotional toll it took on her.
I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was also placed on an antipsychotic and an anti-anxiety medicine.
Monroe returned to sex work at one point, an experience that she found less harmful than working at Whole Foods.
Felt appreciated and I didn't feel that appreciation and value from working at Whole Foods.
Now, all three have retained Lane Armstrong as they pursue legal action against Whole Foods. The attorney has seen a growing number of trans, gender nonconforming, and intersex clients come to her.
The resources and the law, and that there's the knowledge.
The employment attorney relying on the Supreme Court ruling from June 2020, Bostock versus Clayton County, Georgia. It specifically addresses trans discrimination in the workplace.
She was told at one point, well, we can't control other people's behavior.
News 12 demanding answers from Whole Foods about the allegations. A spokesperson sent us this statement. We do not comment on pending litigation. However, Whole Foods Market has a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination and retaliation of any kind. We are proud of our diverse and inclusive work environment. All three confirm that employees are trained, but it wasn't enforced. Armstrong says this is a common legal loophole.
Policies are in place generally so the company can say when they're sued, well, wait, we have this policy in place and we did this training.
They are glad to have each other to rely on as they continue this legal battle against the grocery chain. In Manhattan, Katie Vasquez, News 12.
These systemic challenges contribute to high rates of unemployment and underemployment in the trans community. But with her determination and her faith behind her, Kasí easily conquered that statistic. In 2023, she celebrated receiving 3 different job offers, including one she truly wanted. She was a gifted hairstylist, beloved for her ability to work with clients of all ages. Kasí was into astrology and loved listening to Cardi B, Ciara, and Missy Elliott. On August 18, 2025, Kasí was found in the front yard of a home in the 1100 block of Rivermont Avenue around 8:58 p.m. She had just attended a funeral for a family member that morning.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Rachel Branning. New at 11, folks in the Lynchburg community gathered tonight honoring the victim of a deadly shooting on Rivermont Avenue. Friends, family, and loved ones of 31-year-old Kasí Rhea, identified by Lynchburg police as Kasim Holmes, held a candlelight vigil in the same place that the shooting happened. I love you, Kasim. Even though the scene on Rivermont wasn't the victim's home, the neighborhood welcomed the family to celebrate Holmes' life. A close family friend spoke on behalf of the family, saying they're heartbroken and still can't believe this is their new reality.
Anger, hurt, just confused, wondering what happened.
One neighbor led the planning for the vigil, saying the neighborhood is doing their best to support the Holmes family in this time.
I think it's always super important for a community to come together after any kind of event, tragedy, joy, celebration, anything.
The family says they hope everyone can come together in their grief and support each other through this challenging time. Now, this is still an open investigation, and LPD hasn't arrested anyone in connection to this case.
Responding officers with the Lynchburg Police Department and Fire Department had originally been dispatched for a malicious wounding call, but by the time they arrived, it was too late, as Kasí had already lost her life. Police confirmed she had suffered multiple gunshot wounds, some to the head, though it remains unclear if the residence was her own or someone else's. According to different social media accounts, there are conflicting reports on whether she was married or engaged. But a man on Twitter who claims to have been her husband took to the platform asking for assistance in burying Kasí. Less than a week after her murder, 40-year-old Victor Giles, whom on Facebook describes himself as being an artist,
Better watch your man, he is shaped like a snake. Do it right in front of your face. Better watch your man.
Dog breeder, clothing brand designer, and entrepreneur, was arrested.
New this morning, a man has been arrested after a deadly shooting in Lynchburg. On Tuesday, Lynchburg police arrested Victor Giles for allegedly killing Kasim Holmes last Monday. That shooting happened in the 1100 block of Rivermont Avenue. Giles is charged with first-degree murder, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and firearm possession by a convicted felon. Police tell us this investigation is still active.
There are conflicting reports as to how these two know one another. Some believing they were involved intimately, while others believe the two had a falling out over street politics. But if you go to Victor's old Facebook page, you will see that he and Kasí were friends. But if you go to his new page, some claim Kasí was involved in street life, accusing her of setting people up for financial gain, but police have not alluded to or confirmed. Kasí's death is not only a personal tragedy, but part of a broader crisis. She is the 14th known trans person to be killed in 2025. Of those, she is the 12th trans woman, the 7th black trans woman, the 10th black trans person overall to lose their life to violence.
A lot of people know him as that. They know him as Kasim. He didn't deserve what happened over there. I see you got a lot of love people out here. I thank y'all for showing up. Every day is a hard day for me to swallow. Maybe people like this could help. Thank y'all for showing up.
Police are still working to determine a connection and a motive. Rest in peace, Kasí Rhea.